Hey everyone, so once again, just take a look here. I'm just going to give you a quick little snapshot of this headline article out of CBC News. As you see here, the headline is Population Growth in Maritimes Fastest in Decades, study says. But what do you see there? Look at the picture they're showing. And the caption directly underneath of that. Immigration has helped increase the population in the Maritime provinces. And as you see here, they have three of these ladies, these women here, that are welcoming people to Canada, and it looks like it's for immigrants that obviously don't speak the English language. Looks like it's to welcome Muslims predominantly, right? Or people that speak, I believe, what's that? Arabic or whatever language that is, but it's definitely not English and it's definitely not French. So think about, just like I say, just the headline, the caption of the picture, and the underlying caption underneath the picture. This is to suggest that the increase in population in the Maritimes is a result of, well, based on this article, predominantly immigrants from Muslim countries or backgrounds. Now, take it from someone that's from the East Coast, from New Brunswick, that can't afford to live there, although I would love to so I could get back to taking care of my home, my aging and elderly parents and grandparents, or getting back to hanging around with some of the friends that I grew up with and that I know back in that part of the country. Now, I am back there from time to time because my home is still there. I still have to go back there time to time because that is my primary place of residence. And that's the home that I'm, like I say, that's the only place that matters to me is I want to not just live there, I'm going to retire there and hopefully someday take my final breath there. But I can't do it today. Why? Because I don't have government help. And I just happen to be one of those people that are on the hit list by the political and the media class. I'm a white, male, heterosexual in the private sector. So, government and the media, well, they hate people like me and they'll do whatever they can to treat me as a second-class citizen. And I've definitely noticed that and experienced that very much dominantly so, at least within the last 10 to 12 years. Why that happened, like I say, I can't pretend to know the reasoning, the underlying fundamentals behind it, but I definitely noticed there was a huge shift within the last 10 or 12 years in my particular province of origin that they just seem to be hell-bent on destroying the lives and the productive capacity of anyone in the working age range, which forced us all to be spread all across the rest of this country to seek out alternative occupations or jobs to sustain ourselves. So while we're all scattered across Canada and our aging and elderly parents or grandparents or extended family members are left to rely solely on big government, well, these immigrants, because government, once again, big government is helping to pave the way and pay the way for these people to be moving to the East Coast. Now they have a leg up and can get some economic or social benefit from moving to the East Coast. Whereas, like I say, old stock Canadians such as myself that was born and raised and has an entire history and culture and family background that goes back multiple generations of that part of the country or that province. Now, I guess I'm stuck, like I say, have to figure out things as best as I can. Nobody's welcoming me with open arms. I still, like I say, to this day, I would love to be living predominantly in my home, full-time, year-round, working to sustain not just myself and my wife and my extended family, and ultimately my community. While I can't do that because of the social and economic harms that have been placed and thrust upon me by big government, well, I guess they're finding a way to fill that void. But I mean, think about it. Do you think my parents and grandparents are going to be happy about the fact that the population has increased in that province, but it's from complete strangers and people that have no historical basis or relationship with most of the people that were born and raised and created the culture of that province or those provinces? I don't think so. P.E.I. leads population growth while Newfoundland and Labrador drop slightly. It's being reported by the Canadian Press, May 14th, 2019. A new study says the population of the three maritime provinces is growing at its fastest pace in decades, thanks mainly to immigration and reduced outflow to Alberta. So I guess that's another secondary aspect of it. Less people that are now, because the oil patch has seen Once again, through government manipulation, and yeah, doesn't just mean the domestic Canadian government, so the federal government or the provincial government, although they've been definitely contributing to the demise and the destruction of the oil and gas industry. But yes, there are other external actors around the world that have been contributing to that as well. So once again, the East Coast is only benefiting because I guess less of the people on the East Coast have the opportunity to go elsewhere for gainful employment where they'll be rewarded or compensated monetarily properly. So I guess they're stuck back living there. But once again, how's that a benefit? What? They're going to go on welfare? Live in abstract poverty? I guess you could make the claim, well, at least more people are living there. They're all living in pure abstract poverty and basically starving to death. But hey, at least you can say the population increased, right? However, the Atlantic Province's Economic Council says the population of economically challenged Newfoundland and Labrador has declined slightly after 7 years of growth. Well, I guess being an island all by itself takes a few hours to get to by ferry from the mainland. I guess that probably has an effect on that reality, right? The turnaround in the Maritimes follows 3 decades of steady decline. 3 decades of steady decline. Prince Edward Island, which has been boasting about its red-hot economy, reported the fastest growth at 2% year over year. Really, though? Yeah, P.E.I. is not an economic driver in this country, and trying to pretend that that's red-hot economy for P.E.I. What? 10 people got a job? Come on. The independent think tank says Nova Scotia's population grew by 1% and New Brunswick recorded a boost of 0.5%, the highest increase for the province since the early 1990s. However, with an aging population, the number of deaths now exceeds births across the region, except in P.E.I. Atlantic Canada's population is older on average than the rest of Canada and continued to age more quickly. There are now more Atlantic seniors than children and teenagers. Right. So there's fewer and fewer successive generations to take care of their aging and elderly parents and grandparents. But once again, the federal government, the central planners think that they'll fill that void, that gap, by bringing in immigrants. Once again, if you're one of those parents or grandparents that are missing and desperately wishing that your children or grandchildren were back around to care and love you and to bring real substantive meaning in those later years in your life, well, like I say, federal liberals or any federal government at that point, this point in time, the established parties at least, they don't care. It's all about statistics and numbers and filling up government coffers or expanded GDP. And they don't care how many people are hurt or harmed along the way. The numbers have big implications for the demand for public and private services, particularly continuing care, said Fred Bergman, the council's senior policy analyst. It will also mean significant challenges for the regional labor force. The total number of babies and preschoolers in the Atlantic region has decreased by 18% over the last 2 decades. Well, once again, maybe get big government, central planning, and bureaucracy out of the way and allow some actual economic flourishment to happen and take place in that part of the country. Like I said, it's been a have-not aspect, the welfare case, another recipient, just like Quebec. That's the thing. Once you get east of Ontario, Quebec and the Maritimes are basically, like I say, they're just suckling constantly off the teat of the state. And all that accumulation of reliance and dependence on the state means that more and more people have had to go elsewhere for gainful employment. All those successive and younger generations. But now that the state can no longer sustain because there's not enough people to pay into the taxes, now they think, well, now we got to fill that void by bringing in massive numbers of, like I say, whether it's the legal immigrants or the asylum seekers to try to fill that void. Well, like I said, folks, I'll post a link to this article in the description of the video below because, to be honest with you, when I'm doing stuff like this, I just get so frustrated because some days it's like, what the fuck? I might as well just go beat my head off that wall there because sometimes I feel like you're trying to tell people, I'm trying to tell people all the time. I'm just constantly trying, but do Canadians seem to be listening? Well, a small minority of them, yeah, sure. And I mean, if I based on the views of my videos, especially within the last week and a half or so, I guess a few hundred people in Canada seems to care predominantly about what I got to say. But, a representation of the 36 or 37 million with only at best a few hundred people on average that watch my videos actually care about anything that I say, tells me that apparently most Canadians don't care. So I'm starting to ask and judge myself and wonder, wait a minute, why the fuck do I care? Why do I put in so much time and effort and energy into doing all these things when most Canadians don't seem to give a flying rat's ass or give a shit? Why do I keep making my own personal life more difficult by inundating myself with this kind of information and weeding through it when, like I say, the majority of Canadians don't seem to even give a flying rat's ass, not just about what's happening, but even supporting people that are trying to educate and inform them. Like I say, it looks to me, well, the videos that, I will mention this before I tie this video up, the videos that get most attention, garner most views and likes and all that are the ones where, what, if I'm making fun of Justin Trudeau, right? Well, that's where we're at. And it's not just in this country, but it seems to be dominating the West. Is if you can give people all kinds of mindless entertainment or divisive narratives, those are the times, like I say, that seems to be dominating our culture today. And once again, I'll stick with, if I have to, I'll stick with my few hundred. And those of you that are representative of those few hundred, I love each and every one of you, because I know you are people that actually truly do care about what's going on in this country. And like I say, thank you so much for you few hundred that actually do. I think it's probably representative of between 500 and 700 people that actually watch my videos on a continuing, ongoing basis regularly. And those of you, like I say, mad respect and mad appreciation for everything that you do to support me. It's literally what keeps me going at this point in time. But I don't know, is it going to be enough? Actually, I'll be dealing with this on my live stream on Sunday. Because, yeah, either I got to start making some money here doing this shit, because, you know, I can't work and do this daily uploads every day. So either I got to stop doing what I'm doing on the social media and, like, just give me some feedback. If you folks don't think I'm doing a good enough job and maybe I'm better suited in doing something else, hey, listen, it might hurt my feelings for a minute or two, but I'll be okay. I'll be fine with it. But I just would like to know, because, like I say, based on my own judgment, based on the people that watch my videos, I don't know. I don't seem to do a good enough job for most people. I think other people must do a much better job, because I see a lot of other people getting a whole lot higher view counts and increase in their subscription than I have. And I've been doing this longer than most people, these newcomers that are coming up. So, but anyways, like I say, it is what it is. And if I can't do it in a conducive manner that's going to, like, benefit me or reward me in any way economically, or even, like I say, even as far as seeing my subscriber count or people that are trying to propagate my message, like, if I'm not benefiting anyway, what the hell's the point in me continuing to do so, right? Anyway, sorry about the little bit of a mini rant here at the end. I'll deal with most of that stuff, like I say, on the weekend, on Sunday here on the 19th, when I'm doing my live stream. Because, like I say, I got a lot to say, folks. And you know, when I get on a tear, on a rant, yeah, it's going to take a while. You few hundred people, I'm sure you'll be there to listen. Maybe some others, Canadians, maybe another subset of that 36 or 37 million Canadians, maybe they'll want to listen to what I got to say too. Maybe just by sheer fact that I'm ranting, right? I don't know, whatever. Because like I said, watching other people's misery or discomforts, that seems to be the dominant area where people want to consume large quantities of videos or information. But if you're just giving them good, honest, objective perspectives or philosophical principles or underpinnings, that, like I said, those are the times where, yeah, get ready for the very, very tiny amount of views, interaction, and engagement. That's what I've become accustomed to. And like I say, I'm hoping that'll change at some point in time. If not, well, if that don't change, well, maybe what I'm doing has to change. Either way, something is definitely going to have to change. It's Canadian Libertarian, and I love liberty.